Welcome back. So this is the official start of part 9 on the Lance Truck Camper rebuild series. I know it's been a while. I know part 8 left off early this year, late March, I think. But we're back on it. We're gonna get situated. Let's talk about what this video should be covering. All right, so part 8 left off with kind of finishing up the roughing in of the bench area, that whole shelf system, all the way through. This whole side is basically done as far as the framing of it and the overall rebuild section. Got the walls up, wall panels. So that's where we left off. So it only makes sense to stay in the back. Let's finish the back. Right now you can see I got the bumper being held up by some jacks. I'm gonna get that centered and marked where that needs to go. And then what's all involved back here is just finishing up the rear floor area. Again, it's all framed, it's done. Just gotta get some 1.5 inch foam cut and glued into the voids, and then get a panel cut to enclose the bottom here. Keep in mind this whole area here where you see is exposed. None of this goes on the actual truck box bed. Truck box basically ends right here. This is where the gray water holding tank is located. So that will be mounted up here underneath the floor, behind the bumper. And then there's a plastic cover that covers all that stuff up. So all of this is just like a holding tank area structure. So none of this goes on the floor of the truck. So just need to pick up a 1.5 inch repair gasket thing for that, for the holding tank connection. And then reconnect it to the plumbing here, which I did cut. So I have, I'm hoping I can just get a rubber, what do you call it? A rubber coupler to get that part back together. And that'll tie up the rear of the floor area. All right, let's measure, find the center of the wood here. It's 93 1/4. Half of that is 46 5/8. So let me measure 46 5/8. Now let's measure the bumper frame width. 91 inches, so half of that is 45 1/2. That's pretty close. Let me bump that over, make it even. Slid that over, both lines are lined up. So that way I can keep track of that. Almost should mark these edges too. All right, that way I can line stuff up. It's nice and even on the sides here, so that's cool. I test fit the bumper just to see how it fit. Took it back off. just because the floor panel is basically sandwiched underneath that. So I took a measurement 15.5 by 75 1/8. So I got that panel cut. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill these voids that I can't get from the top with the 1.5 inch insulation, and then liquid nail, and then I'll staple that back up. Once it's up, I will do the same kills, primer, sealer. All right, let me get this insulation cut, put up, and then get this panel situated and move on. Obviously that cut's super easy. I'm just using an old dull Sawzall blade, and if you cut it slightly over, you can just press it in place and it stays. So I just need to do those 3 cavities, and then the rest is accessible. Let's move on. So from the factory, the bumper is held on by these wood lag bolts. I think they're about 1/4 inch. So I mean, they're decent size, but let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know, 12, 14 of these is what held the bumper on. I don't know. I don't love that idea, just because, I mean, you know, I'm not a small guy, and I just feel like that's a lot of force to be stepped on, in and out. So I'm going to make a little bit of a change. I'm gonna go pick up brand new hardware just like this. Looks like about 2 inch, 1.5 2 inch. But my plan is to get some grade 8 bolts, whether, I don't know, 1/4 inch is probably sufficient, or 3/8, I don't know. All right, panels cut and glued and stapled. Now I'm gonna get the kills out and put a couple coats on that. And then I decided I'm gonna do a truck bed liner to seal everything up. All right, coat number 1's on. So while that's drying up, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting the 1.5 inch thick insulation for these cavities here. And hopefully I can get a second coat on when that's done. And then I can go ahead and start doing the cavities back here. These are actually also 1.5 inch deep. So I'll knock out all the 1.5 inch insulation right now. All right, so everything's going, or working out real well here. Got all the insulation going in, spaced out for the drain hole. I'm gonna probably wait on that one just to make sure. I have to have the aluminum siding on to make sure I know exactly where the exit port is. So I'll wait for that. I got 3 heavy coats of the Kills Sealer Primer on there. So everything's coming along really nice. And then I decided I'm going to, oh, where's it at? I can't find it. I'm going to truck bed line everything on the bottom that's sticking out. And then I think I will do that down the road once it's on its own stilts. That will provide a rubberized waterproof barrier, and then also will be a high grip. So this is guaranteed not to slide. Stopped at Tractor Supply and got my new lag bolts and my grade 8 1/4 inch bolts. So I have all the hardware I need to mount the bumper and get the holding tank back up in place. All right, so the whole exterior wall area that I've been working on is done as far as the insulation. This is just pulled out because I still need to have access here to bolt to the wing. And I'll have to pop this out real quick too to secure that, but every little section here. Essentially the walls are ready for the plastic lined cardboard. And then the siding just goes on top of that. So progress is happening real quick. I think the paint underneath is dry, the kills. I'm gonna go ahead and check that and try to get the bed liner put on next. All right, so I moved on. I got 2 heavy layers of the truck bed liner on the bottom here, and then wrapped around the edges. So that looks good. Let that dry overnight, and then I can move back on to getting the holding tank situated. I will be able to reuse the factory straps. They're in good shape still. The only thing that was bad was the hardware, so the straps themselves are good. I got the 1/8 inch thick square washers cut out that I will use in locations for the 1/4 inch grade 8 bolts. I determined I'm going to do 6. And then that way the bumper will be bolted in 6 locations and then lag bolted in the other areas. So let's move on. All right, so I now have 4 layers of the truck bed liner. So that is good and sealed on top of the 2 layers of the Kills primer sealer. I do have this corner aluminum trim that goes back on here. I do have 1 hole left to locate that. So I'm going to locate that, staple it up. I didn't think I needed it, but I do believe that that is how the bottom of the aluminum is going to channel in, so I do need it. So I'm probably going to, I don't know, spray paint that black just to seal it, and then staple that, and then I'm going to move on with the bumper, holding tank, and all that hardware stuff. All right, so that aluminum edge is on. Like I said, there was a hole to locate, so I got my proper gap, and then there was still 1 hole left under here for the bumper, so that's located. Got 1 lag in here, so I'm just going to take a measurement basically from the edge of here to the edge of here, line up the other side, put a lag on this side to hold it, and then I got a extra long Pilot 1/8 inch drill bit to easily drill through the bumper holes so I can come straight up and down. I want these grade 8 bolts to be as center and straight as possible. So I figure if I drill it with a super small 1/8 inch Pilot hole, when it shoots out up here, I'll be able to square it up if I need to. Okay, I got the bumper fully mounted with all the lags, and 2 of the grade 8 bolts, made some plates, welded the nuts, and then 2 wood screws to hold the plate down so it doesn't spin. So I got one there, and then there's a 3rd one right here. But I'm going to have to get an 1 inch longer bolt just because the floor has to come in too. So that'll be exposed on the inside, no big deal. But I'll add that once the floor's in. And there's a quick view. And then this hole here and that hole there are where the tank straps were at on this side. So I'm gonna get that tank held up next and figure that out. All right, I'm mocking up the gray water tank here. There were existing holes in the aluminum corner trim piece, fascia, whatever you want to call it. So it was easy to locate. The strap ends on that side. So now I'm just trying to see how the straps come around with the tank center. So as you can see Lite. I'm just gonna do a quick addressment right here. Obviously there was a piece of framework in that location that I wasn't aware of, because all that was gone and rotted. Refer back to videos 1 through 3. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick 2x2 piece in here, and then that will be the anchor point. And then the center strap should hit this 2x2. All right, quick little brace, it's in. And then yes, this 2x2 drilled up from the bottom, center. That's where that strap's at. So the tank is being held up by the straps. All right, so this right here is the plastic cover that will hide everything. Obviously, I'm just test fitting it. I'm not putting it on yet. I have to connect the, this is the old 1.5-inch valve for the gray water. I got a brand new one. So, gotta get that part installed. But I think this video is probably already getting to be too long. So I'm gonna stop here. This will end part 9. But a lot of progress made on the back here. Super exciting. All right, so that's gonna end part 9. Never looks like a lot, but obviously, as you saw, it's a lot of little things that combined made all this stuff complete, done. Just getting the bumper located, installed, the holding tank, the straps, getting all that stuff on is huge. Part 10, I'm going to pick up from this point forward and get the both left and right wings installed, located. I got a couple 90-degree brackets I want to put on this new back panel that I put in a few videos back. Then once I know all the screwing from the bottom is done, I'm trying to keep a close eye on this water line. I don't want to pierce it. So I've been keeping that out of the way just to make sure. I'm going to actually mark on the bottom when I go to put that plastic tray in to make sure that I do not come anywhere close to that water line. So, all right, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys that are following this are excited that I finally got the next one out, but it's going to be on and going from here. I'm super excited, just cannot wait to keep making progress on this and have it ready for next season.